Herschel, thanks for getting up early with us this morning. I got so many things I want to get into with you, but what did you think of the most recent Georgia Bulldog game against Alabama? Were you able to watch?
Well, I didn't watch it. I saw some clips of it, and I knew it was going to be a tough game for Alabama when Coach Saban came back because, that's going to get the players up. You lose your head coach and you're thinking he's not going to be on the sideline. You may have a lull. But to know that he's coming back, he's going to pick the players up, and, they're playing in Alabama. But, one thing I told someone, and I told Bo Jackson this, I think, a year ago, I said, what's strange is at that time, I said Auburn would beat Georgia in the regular season. But I said I think those two teams are going to meet up in the playoffs, and it may be a different story. So that's almost what I'm saying right now. I think these two teams here may meet up in the playoffs, and the story may be a little bit different at that time.
Do you interact a lot with some of the recent Georgia running backs, the Todd Gurleys of the world, that have had a lot of success? Swift, do you guys interact a lot? Is there a fraternity among former Georgia running backs?
Well, I'm not sure whether you call it a fraternity, but one thing we do talk off and on. We see each other at different functions off and on. A lot of the guys are very busy, like myself, but we do have communication. I think one thing that's great at the University of Georgia, they have a good alumni that sort of keeps players together and keep information that players can get out, and so you keep up with everyone.
We're talking to Herschel Walker. You won the last national championship at Georgia back, I believe, in 1980. Did you realize how big of a deal that was when you won the title? Sometimes at a young age, you don't really recognize it, or has it seemed bigger to you as the years have gone by?
Well, you don't realize it when you're young. I said sometimes when you're young, you're more naive and stupid than anything. And I didn't realize it because, you always just go out and you work hard and you accomplish something that you set out to do as a team, and you don't realize how big of a deal it is. You just assume, we can do that again. You don't realize that it's a lot harder than you think it is. And right now, athletes are getting better and better, and schools are getting better, and it's a lot harder today than it was during my time. And that's what I tell people. You got teams today. Athletes are bigger. I think recruiting is so much better. And so it's a little tougher today than it was during the time we won.
We're talking to Herschel Walker. You have an interesting background from an NFL and pro football perspective in general. And you initially came into pro football and played in the USFL for the New Jersey Generals. How did that happen? How did you come to make that decision, and what was that experience like?
Well, what's so weird, and people don't know something about me, I didn't grow up really watching football or playing football, even though I started playing a little late in my career. But, the reason I started playing is just to get away from the house. I have doing chores around the house, and I wanted to get away. So I never really followed football. But, what was strange is I was very blessed to get a scholarship to go to the University of Georgia. But I ended up flipping a coin to decide that. So
you decided between where? Where were you flipping a coin between?
I wanted to go to the military. I always wanted to be a Marine, so I flipped the coin to decide whether to go to the Marines or go to college, and it came up for me to go to college. Then I flipped the coin between three schools. It was Georgia, Clemson, and USC out in California. Georgia ended up winning, and right before when the USFL thing came, I flipped the coin to decide about whether to go to the USFL or stay at the University of Georgia. And let me tell you the reason I did that is I was raised in the church. I was overweight as a little kid. I had a speech impediment, and, I was bullied, and I didn't really a lot of people didn't give me the time of day, but I've been very fortunate that I had a mom and dad that taught me. They introduced me to Christ. And my mom always told me, she said, your mind and your heart is pure to Lord Jesus. No matter what your decision is, God will make it right for you, as long as you have faith. And I always believe that God is always at my side. He's always going to, as long as I'm being honest, he's always going to take care of me. And I flipped the coin, and that's the reason I ended up in the USFL, which I think was a great decision. And because I think people saw that I can do a lot more than just run the football.
I'm going to circle back to that in a minute, but you said something interesting there, and I think I knew this because I've watched, I believe it was the SEC Network or a 30 for 30 on you. You said that when you were young, you had the speech impediment and you were a little bit overweight. When did you realize that you were a pretty good athlete? Was there a moment in time, even before you started playing football, where you thought, I'm pretty fast. I'm faster than most other kids. Do you remember having that moment of recognition about your talents?
Well, yeah, this is what you're gonna be very weird about me today. I think today I'm a very good competitor. If you could classify it as a good athlete, that's fine. I think I'm a very good competitor because, I competed very well in the track and field, in the MMA, and I tell people, I said, guys, what's so fun is I grew up where I don't look at limitations. I never look at that you can't do it. I always look at what you can do, and I want to be competitive. And I said, I think, I'm going to compete. And I tell people I'm going to compete hard, and whether it's you're going to classify me as being a great athlete, that's fine. So even today, I think I think I was okay. At Georgia, the job I did at Georgia was what I was supposed to do. That's the reason they gave me a scholarship. In the pro football was the things I was supposed to do. That's the reason I was there, and I never really thought myself as being like a great athlete, the top in the world or whatever. But one thing I do tell people is when I show up, I can tell you right now, I'm going to compete, and you're going to know I'm going to bring more than my lunch when I show up.
We're talking to Herschel Walker. You said you started football late. When did you actually start playing football?
Well, I really didn't start until I was about almost 14, and for most kids that's sort of late. And like I said, I started because I wanted to quit doing chores around the house. If I can start playing football, that'll keep me from washing dishes, which was a big mistake because my parents taught me that if you start something, you got to finish it. So I started playing football, and my friends were out there because I thought they'll talk to me, they'll be a little bit more friendly to me then, and I stayed with it. I was a linebacker as well. I absolutely loved to play linebacker. When I got a scholarship to go to the University of Georgia, I thought they were going to let me play a little linebacker also, and they didn't. And because I wasn't bad at a linebacker, I was okay.
What was it like for other people to see you playing football? Because, you said you didn't get a lot of respect maybe growing up. I'm assuming that changed pretty quickly when people saw you start to make plays on the football field. Was that an eye-opening moment for you about the amount of attention in your football ability there was?
No, it was. It was an eye-opening opportunity, and for me because I was from such a small town in South Georgia, and people from all over the country is coming down to see me play or to see me run track, and they were amazed, and I'm like kind of confused, and the reason I'm confused because, like I said, I never put limitation on myself, or I never know that you're supposed to put limitation on people, and so I just go out and just do what I'm supposed to do, and whatever happens, but I know I got to give it my all. I'm from that old way of teaching people that no matter what you do in life, do it well. I don't care if you're a garbage man, be the best garbage man you can be, and that's the way I've always have tried to do. I never try to impress anyone with anything. I just go out and just do my job, and if it's something great. If it's not good enough, I'm going to go out and try to make it better.
So when you I want to go back to the USFL now. I believe that's when you first met Donald Trump, if I'm not mistaken, when he was involved in the USFL. What was Donald Trump like in your experience when you were a player about to play football?
Well, he was an interesting guy, and one thing that was very unique, that I thought was very unique about him, was he was very curious. What I mean by that is when he bought the team, he called my wife and myself up right after he bought the team, and we went into his office, and he wanted to know a little bit about us and all this, and he started knowing the players, and that's how we became friends. I ate at his home, he ate at my home, and his kids started staying with my family a little bit more, and we started doing things together. And what was strange is you can see that he was trying to learn this game. As he was trying to learn the game, he got very interested in it. But one of the things I started realizing as we became closer and closer, how much he loved the United States of America. And in 1985, I remember I and a reporter from the New York Times were walking down the street, And I turned to this reporter and I said, this guy can be president of the United States because he loved America. I remember him, that's all he used to talk about is how great America was, how all the opportunities you had in America. And I said that, but he's a guy that was very interested. He's always wanted to learn, that he would get involved, and he always wanted to know people. That was, and that's why I told people, I said, guys, he's interesting. So don't look at him as a tweet. Don't look at him as all these things when he's doing these rallies. He's up there. He's talking. He's talking to the people. He's one of the guys. I said, this guy loves his family. He loves his family. He loves to work. He work all the time. He loves making things better. And I tell you what, he's very loyal. You can see how loyal he is to this country. He's very, very loyal. And I said, that's the type of president you want and stuff. And that's the way he's always been.
What do you think when you hear people say he's racist?
Well, it's sad, and that's the reason I got involved. I want America to know the truth. Donald Trump is not a racist. I think it's tough because we become so political today, and the worst thing you can say to someone is he's a racist. And they take bits and parts of a speech or something, and they try to make him a racist, and that's what's very, very sad to me, and that's the reason I got involved. I didn't get involved because I wanted to be in politics or do anything like that. It's just that somebody was saying something about a friend that I know very well that I know is not true. And if I had not gotten involved, I thought it would have been a misjustice to America because this guy is not a racist. This guy is the best guy right now to run this country. He's the best guy right now to be the leader for this country, and I wanted people to know the truth. And I'm not trying to, I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting anything from it. I just love America, and I want America to know the truth.
What do you think about how political sports have become? I don't know what it was like for most of your career at Georgia because I was super young. I've heard all the stories about how dominant you were there. I watched a lot of your NFL career. For most people, sports is where they go to escape serious things in their life. Does it seem to you a bad decision in general for leagues and players and teams to get political in the sport itself, or how do you take that?
I think that is a terrible, terrible decision for teams to get so political, for the commissioner to bow down to the pressure. Because I think what he should have done is he should have said, no, guys, this is what we're going to do. We're going to stand for the flags. We're going to do this right here. He take control. And then he said, after the season, what I like to do as a team is for the owners, for the commissioner, for all the players that this is hurting, let's go to Washington. Let's make it change. Let's make it change where it should be changed at, not to politicize it and put the pressure on everyone. Because let's be honest here, it is supposed to be a team. Well, when the commissioner comes down and says, hey, this is what we're going to do. We're going to put this on your helmet. This is what we're going to do. We're going to support this organization. We're going to do this here. But there's some people on that team that may not support that, but yet they can't speak out. They can't say anything. They're going to be ridiculed. They're going to be put down. They're going to be taught like this. And then think about, you are a product. You're a business. Think about the businesses that you may alienate, and think about what these players are going through. Think about their families. And I said that's the problem I think they have is more than just the commissioner saying, oh, this is what we're going to do, because I think they bow down to the pressure. I know it's going to be tough, but you being a leader, sometimes you got to do things that some people are going to disagree with. But that's what being a leader is. And you just don't just bow down just because you see pressure or you're afraid. And I think that's what some of the commissioners did is they got afraid and they go, oh, let me do this. Let me put BLM everywhere. Let me do this and try to be politically correct. But yet this is a team. This is a team. There's other players that may not agree with that. So what are they supposed to do?
We're talking to Herschel Walker. You obviously are coming out and saying Donald Trump's not racist. I think you were at the RNC. I know you were. You spoke. I thought you did a fantastic job in that speech that you made. What's it like for you to be being attacked? Because I'm sure some people are stepping up and attacking you, which is different than maybe somebody booing you or rooting against you because they don't like the team that you're playing for. What has that experience been like for you to suddenly have people saying bad things about you for speaking out about the president?
Well, you got to remember. I said I was bullied as a little kid, so it doesn't bother me. because I want people to know the truth, and if they don't want to know the truth, that's fine, because that's what has gotten so sad is right now, if you don't like this president, don't like him, but don't like him on a lie. Don't like him on things that's not honest. And like I said, I love America. Right now, America is at a war. You know, right now, when I saw BLM burning the Holy Bible and burning the cross and burning the United States flag, I said, no, that's not correct. I don't know whether that's the movement. I don't know whether that's the organization. I'm not sure what it is. But right now, it's not fair. It's not right to see separation. You see ministers talking about reparation, talking about this, where in my Bible, the Bible that I read, I saw Jesus Christ talk about togetherness. I saw him talk about forgiveness. I never seen separation. And I said, guys, we can't do this like this. This is not the way it is. And so people can say what they want to say about Herschel Walker. Now, I'm not lying to no one. I'm not lying to the people. This is things I've looked up myself. No one is paying me to say this. I just want people to know the truth. And if they don't like the truth, that's on them.
We're talking to Herschel Walker. I want to close out with a couple of questions here. You started doing push-ups and sit-ups in your bedroom, I think, when you were a young kid. Do you still do push-ups and sit-ups in the morning now as a grown man who's been doing it for a long time?
Every day. You know, I work with the military today on a program called Patriot Support, where I try to remove that stigma of mental health. I work with a company called University Health Services out of Pennsylvania, and you know they have that program that we been doing that for 12 years. So every 3 weeks, I normally without a base, and you know I do my push-ups, sit-ups. You know, people got to remember I was fighting, you know, doing the MMA and all that. So I'm in very, very good shape. I do about 1,500 push-ups, 3,500 sit-ups every day, and I don't do things to impress people. I do things because I compete at the top level. Like I said early on, when I show up, I want to be ready to go.
So this is amazing. And how old are you right now, by the way?
Well, I'm in my upper 50s. I tell everyone I'm older than the average bear, but I'm in absolutely incredible shape.
So 1,500 push-ups. How long does that take you?
Well, that's going to take a little time. I said do 1,500. It's going to take me at least an hour and 20 to 30 minutes. 3,500 sit-ups will take me about 25 to 30 minutes to do those, and I've been I do it every day. If I do not do it, it becomes a disease where it'll be in the back of my head that I'm trying to slack off. And I think of some kid in some small little town that's been reading about Herschel Walker, and one day he's going to show up, want to compete against me, and I got to let him know that I'll be your huckleberry, that I'm not going to just lay down. So I try to keep myself in shape.
So how many sets? I'm just fascinated by this. So if you do 1,500 push-ups and 3,500 sit-ups, how many in a set do you do?
Well, in a set of push-ups, anywhere between 50 to 75, so that's the reason that take a little bit more time. But in the sit-ups themselves, I can do anywhere between 200 to 500 in a set. It's really because I do more of like a crunch, where I never let mine go past 45 degrees. Once you pass 45 degrees, you're doing more of your lower back. I keep all the tension on my stomach. I bring my shoulders and head up off the floor, never rest until I get through the sit-up. So everything, keep all the tension on the stomach.
That is absolutely remarkable. Herschel Walker, I appreciate the time this morning. We look forward to for many more years of you doing 1,500 push-ups and 3,500 sit-ups. And I hope your Georgia Bulldogs eventually manage to win another national championship. So you can have some compatriots there to talk about what the experience was like.
Oh, well, thank you. And thank you for having me on. And good luck with you guys. I'll tell you what, I think you guys are doing a great job.